deals. Okay, it's 6:02. Call the meeting to order. We have Don, Mary Ellen, and Sarah around the table. Tim, are you out there in telephone land?
Yeah, I'm out here.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of sickness going around. Good. And how about Missy? Are you out there? No, just Tim? Any other commissioner out there? No? Okay. All right. We have, I think Ryan's going to come. He'll be a little bit late, but he'll be here. Approve the previous meeting minutes. I read them, saw nothing wrong with them. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve them, please?
Sure. I move to approve the meeting minutes for November.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Yeah, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Abstained? No. Okay. I would also like to make a suggestion that we move the director's report to after the new business part of the meeting, because Mary Ellen has to leave at 6:45, and Donna then will get her that information to include into the minutes. Somebody like to make a motion to move?
I'll move.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Tim, aye. Opposed? No? Okay. Abstained. All right. So the first item under old business is the boathouse driveway repair. That has all been completed. I'd like to personally, on behalf of the Park and Rec Commissioners, thank Bill Parchik for volunteering to be the clerk of the works of this project, which turned out very beautiful. I was gone most of the time it was being done, but I saw the results, and they actually did not only a fine job. Public Works and Ed Dante and his guys put a little finishing coat on by smoothing out some of the topsoil and planting grass there, so that it looks really nice. They came in. The budget for that was the contract was $10,400 for Sullivan, and there was a contingency of $3,100 to cover any police costs and also additional materials that were needed. It was 3/4-inch stone, I believe. They spent on both those $1,900 out of the $3,100, so it came in $1,200 under. And I guess that paperwork is being done with the finance office now. Any questions about the boathouse?
So it came in under what we budgeted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, by $1,200. The original estimate or the contract was $10,400, and there was a $3,100 contingency, of which he only spent $1,900. So that project turned out beautiful, and So any questions? No? All right, next one. Subcommittee for Town Enhancements at Haynes Park, an update review. Okay, last meeting, Sarah and Mr. Hack did a nice presentation of what their committee had come up with, and we're going to quickly go over some of the points of that presentation. I hope Sarah sent another copy for everyone. I hope everyone had a chance to review it before coming here. Okay, the first improvement was the drainage of the rainwater off Post and Post Road, and the new driveway took care of that, so that absolutely no water comes down from Route 1 anymore towards the boathouse, and then eventually towards the lake and into the lake. Regrading has been done. Everything should be taken care of on that boathouse driveway. The other driveway the water doesn't come down that, so nothing has to be done. There's a small lip and a 6-inch rise, so that's fine. So we should be in a lot better shape as far as water coming down. It'll only be water that comes down on the part of the driveway after the 6-inch rise. Okay, the next thing is the problem we've had for many years. It doesn't get any better. In fact, it gets worse. The goose nuisance mitigation. I think we need to find more research on that, so that if this would have to be a capital thing that would be put into the budget that the town would have to agree to do on an ongoing basis. And I think that we've got a few ideas. I think what we need to do now is to see real data that shows that some of these things might work. And, I mean, they may initially work, but are they going to work in the long run?
Where do you suggest we would get such data? One of the considerations that was put forward was hiring a wildlife management specialist. So is that someone with whom you think we could?
What do you think? That might be a starting point, Don. What do you think?
I guess so. I don't know what dollar value. I mean. Yeah,
we'd have to get a dollar value, and we have to see what he would actually. Does he have anything to add?
I guess when you say data, you mean on effectiveness of various methods?
Yes, because some things work initially, and then the geese figure it out, and it doesn't.
Wouldn't the expert probably have that?
Right. I mean, the committee did do some research. I know, Don, you have experience having combated this before. That I think your reference was that egg addling is really the most effective.
That's the most important starting point.
Okay.
Is what?
Egg addling.
Egg addling to minimize the population.
What is that now?
Shaking the eggs from the nest.
Oh, you go out to the island there and get the nest? Where are the nests?
They're on the island. Yeah. You gotta find them.
But they have to shake them and not remove them, otherwise more eggs.
We probably need Rogers Lake Authority to be involved in that too. Since the islands.
That's what they used to do. One of our first people who had the original dog thing, that's what she did. She went up, that was part of her service. But the next one would not do that.
Oh. So maybe it's a good idea to contact somebody like that and just see if they're willing to come out and just take a look at what they would suggest.
I mean, you get flocks that come in anyways from other areas and then stay there, but you also have, I think, quite a few nests out there that makes the population.
And I think we could also talk to the new facilities guy here too to see if he can get on board to help.
Are there nests on the ground or?
They're on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, and that
facilities person.
I don't know the guy's name. I've only been back a little over a week.
What's the facilities guy going to do?
Maybe he could help supervise what goes on in that. If something were to go on, to get somebody to go out there and shake the nest or what.
Tell me about who was involved when we used to do it. Do you recall, not the specific person who did it, but you mentioned Rogers Lake Authority.
I don't remember having Rogers Lake Authority have anything to do with what we did with the dogs.
Okay.
And the person who worked.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, they were aware of it because they have problems too. Geese come onto different lawns and stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
Everybody's aware of it, but I don't remember any specific approvals we got to do anything.
We probably don't have to do anything, but it might be a good idea if we're going to do something.
Yeah.
To let them be aware.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's a good. Do you have the name of somebody? I remember a lot of times we'd have to get experts from the University of Connecticut involved to find out what was wetlands versus this and that when we developed Townwoods Park to make sure we weren't encroaching on wetlands. Is there somebody from the University of Connecticut probably could do something like this?
Isn't that where the suggestion of hiring a wildlife
That's what I say.
specialist comes into play? So that there would just be someone that knows all this stuff or has the resources?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we could get somebody like that may actually have some good strategy.
As a volunteer, is that what you're suggesting?
No. I'm not suggesting that at all. We'd have to probably hire somebody from the University of Connecticut. They may have somebody like that.
Or anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah. We'd have to hire, and then we'd have to find out what they want to charge, and then we'd have to see if we have sufficient funds to maybe do a preliminary thing, but eventually this would be a town cost.
Right.
Yeah, but we could do exploratory stuff before we go to the town and say, okay, we'd like to hire this person.
Right, but I mean, also, can't we obtain a fund of money I think everyone will agree that this is a problem that we should solve.
Yes, but we have
Right?
to,
I get that we should maybe work in parallel tracks. I just don't want to miss a budget allocation opportunity.
no, and that's
Because
why,
we have
that's
known
why,
about this problem for several
Right,
years
and that's why
not
we-
found somebody yet.
that's why we would have to get buy-in from the town to make sure it's a part of the budget starting next July.
Okay.
We're not gonna do anything before then, and,
I thought the budgets were submitted in January.
They are, but they're not approved.
they're not approved until July.
Okay.
They're approved in May by the town. They're approved by the Board of Finance as you go do it, stuff like that. And then they're approved, I believe, in May by the town, if the vote is in May. And then they're not effective until July 1.
But if Sarah wants to be January,
Yes.
what do
That's my point.
we do? I think is probably what you're implying,
Exactly.
right?
What's that now?
To submit this for January, I want to definitively come out of this meeting with, for January, here's what we plan to put forward to request that the town allocate funding for the May vote.
Yeah, and that's,
I don't want to miss that deadline.
and that's what we'll
Okay.
do at the January
We
meeting.
have to have an estimate?
We have to get some person first that might be able to do this and get some sort of
My point is
idea.
that we can pursue both things, right?
Yeah.
To get funding, I don't think I need to say that I'm going to have Joe Smith be the wildlife expert. I feel like it's going to be, our best estimate from prior budget items is $15,000.
I was going to suggest the same thing.
Okay.
We haven't been given our budget yet. It's supposedly happening this week, but tomorrow's Friday. Haven't seen them yet, so I was going to suggest that we reestablish what I had before
Right,
and let them fight it out.
yeah.
100%, because this isn't only Rogers Lake. So if this person works for the town, I mean, there's a problem at Town Woods, there's a problem at Cross Lane.
Oh, there's a problem everywhere.
Well,
Where you have big fields.
dogs that we had did Town Woods Park too. It's kind of like a thing.
Yeah, so, okay, so you're gonna put that in some sort of...
I would suggest
Yeah, no,
to reestablish what I had before and let them make the decision.
Yeah, and I think the consensus is everyone agrees with that, correct?
Yeah, and it was $9,900 for Haynes Park and $5,000 for Town Woods, so about $15,000.
Yeah.
And maybe if we could call, or maybe you could call, or
Yeah.
Don and I call somebody at the University of Connecticut, see if we find a person that's,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah. But, okay,
How long ago was that we did that? When was last year?
They
Right.
took it out of last year's budget. They took it out of this budget
Okay.
that we're in right now.
but there's no doubt we have to do something. But it's a never-ending problem, and it gets worse every year, it seems.
So that 9,900 and 5,000, that, I didn't hear Cross Lane.
Cross Lane, it wasn't included in it.
So I think that would impact you too, because Cross Lane is definitely a problem.
There's a lot of...
All over the baseball field, all over the walking by the concession.
I could probably do something like 10, 5, and 3 or something, just throw it in there and have it separated by, just as a starting point. I mean, it's not cast in concrete, because it has to be discussed and approved.
Right.
And if we find out something after I put those numbers in there that it costs more or less, we
Right.
can just adjust it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna add 3 to include, just as a guess?
I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
You can adjust it before the May vote. Like, let's say we get the wildlife guy and he's
When I
20.
get my budget,
Yeah.
probably by next week, but it looks right now, I will put 3, for goose control, I'll make 3, it'll include 3 places. Haynes Park, Town Woods Park, and Cross Lane.
Okay, good.
For 10,000, 5,000, 3,000.
And the 10 was Haynes Park, or which one? 10 was Haynes Park?
Yeah, Haynes Park, 5,000 Town Woods, 3,000 Cross Lane, and that's a starting point.
Okay.
If I want to discuss it, I probably won't go before the Board of Finance to even present my budget until January or maybe February, depending on how fast they operate.
Got it.
So we have time to
Okay.
adjust it, and a day before the meeting, we find out it's gonna cost less or more, we can make that change.
Okay.
Okay, good?
It's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good start.
I'm all for aggressively pursuing that, Sarah. It's
Yeah.
so disgusting.
Yeah, I think we're not the only community around here that has that problem, no. any place with
But I feel like
a...
everyone just throws their hands up, like, oh, we tried everything, there's no solution.
Well, that's why maybe we get somebody else's opinion, an expert from maybe University of Connecticut, that
If you
could...
want to call them, I can look in other places. I'll look in the private sector if you want to call the university.
Oh, okay, you want me to call?
You offered, but I'm happy to. That's okay. I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll do it.
okay, good, thanks.
Yep.
All right, the next one is master plan rendering. Phil is trying to negotiate that still with, what was the name of that company?
BCS or B?
Yeah, and, so we'll see if that comes to fruition, which it should, because they apparently owe that to us. The playground, Don, I remember, the subcommittee came up with approximate cost there. I remember that the commissioners of the Park and Rec 3 years ago or whatever, or 2 years ago, whenever you got those 3 different playground ones, one was more expensive, one was middle, and one was lower, and we said either the middle or lower was fine with us. So you guys based this number on what, the middle one? The middle?
I don't remember which one it was, but.
Yeah, I think it was the middle one.
Yeah, that would be the best one, if we can afford it.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
I forget which one it was right now, but I know that it was,
I think the middle one was the nicest one, but if we didn't have the
Oh, I
funds.
have a picture of it.
It
I just don't remember if it was.
it was the surface.
Yeah, we all have that
Oh,
from a
okay.
long time ago. We have all that stuff. So anyway, okay, so let's proceed with that, and this will be a project to do in the spring, of course, and maybe if we could get the funding together, Don, you and I can sit down and go over the funding and see if we have enough. I know we can't use that $40,000 type of rubberized surface, but you're gonna...
wood chips.
Wood chips.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got a revised estimate before the report that has the wood chips surface.
Okay, okay.
instead. It was significant savings.
So you have that information to give to Don so that we can go over this?
Yeah, he has the.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah,
Oh,
we've
okay,
been-
you have it
We've been
all.
in touch with Dave
Okay,
Catalano.
all right. So we'll go over that, and
We should be all set with just.
we should be all set.
Whether to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that'll be done.
We haven't done a deposit or anything yet?
No.
No, okay.
What's the process for that in terms of locking him in and?
Well, the only thing right now is the budget money that I have covers everything.
Yeah.
That's in capital. I can use that at any time.
Okay.
I would just say if I was starting a project, it would be confirmed by Parks and Rec Commission, the committee, and I would inform the Board of Selectmen that we're going ahead with something.
So if we can have
At
that,
any time,
okay.
because we have the money.
And then in the January meeting, we can officially
Vote on.
vote on it,
Yeah.
once we,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's perfect. And before that meeting, I can recirculate the plan.
Okay,
This one, and it is the medium one, because it was either this huge one, or this little one.
yeah, no, the medium one, I think it was a couple of years or 2 or 3 years when we first got that, we all liked the middle one the best, but if we didn't have the fund, we'll take the other one, the
Okay.
lower price one, okay.
So I'll-
So we'll
Oh.
have that ready for a vote
Next.
at January meeting, okay? The bulkheads for the docks, Don and I met with Chris McCauley, the president of the Rowing Association, yesterday morning, and he's very supportive of doing this finally, so we don't have any confusion of where the docks go, and also to have these docks parallel, whereas right now they're not really parallel, it's not really designed right, and so he was going to get some specifics about. I looked up how long the longest oars are, and it's like 13 feet. So we have to make sure there's enough area, especially so that 2 boats could pull in, and there'd be plenty of room so they wouldn't hit oars, or they call them sculls, I think. Yeah, shells. The shells are the boats, the sculls. And he was going to check with Paul about exactly how long the longest one. We have to plan on the longest oars that they have. So that's going to hopefully be done. Maybe we can even do it in the winter
He's the president of the rowing association?
Chris McCauley.
Yes.
Yes. And we met with him yesterday, and he's all for it. Okay. So hopefully we'll come up with a plan for that, and we can do it in the winter if it's not too
Well,
bad.
It has to be done before we put the docks back in.
Yeah, it has to be done sometimes before the docks go back in. Okay, so we're moving on that. Topsoil, grass seed edging, and new sand. Okay, this of course can be done. Now, I see one problem with if we're gonna put grass seed out, we'd have to make sure that at least half of the way into the boathouse is one that's used, so that the grass, what happened last time is they did everything and then they just walked over everything and it never really came up well in front of the boathouse, especially. So that we'd have to come up with a plan with the rowing association if we're going to put new grass seed down in the spring, which
It really should be done in the fall. Planting grass in the spring is never a good idea.
it's probably better in the fall, is right, but...
Yeah, because it has time to grow long roots.
Yeah, so we...
The summer burns new grass.
Yeah, because we don't have irrigation out there.
That really is something I would suggest.
I would say that's fine, that's good, but we're gonna have to work out some plan so that whatever we plant doesn't get trampled.
Yeah, I think that actually, okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay, and it may be that we can do half of the entrance into the boathouse one fall and then the other half the next fall, just so we have our best shot at actually establishing grass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so, and as far as the sand is concerned, we probably have, from the last time we got sand done, we must have a quantity and some sort of record of how much we got, because it has to be...
No, Public Works would have that, but I can get that.
We'd have to get that and find out approximately how much sand we're gonna need.
Right. Personally, I think there's nothing wrong with the sand right now, and the amount of sand that's there right now, it just has to be groomed more often.
Okay, well, maybe let's work on Public Works getting on board with that.
That's true, although I think there was, in the rendering would make this clearer, but I think there was an idea that some of the areas that are currently grass would become a little bit sandier. So that's the only instance in which I can imagine we need more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just no Asian clams first.
Okay, so that's good. The pavilion, I've spoke to the pavilion people. They're holding true to their estimate and what we owe, and the plan is to put that in this spring. I would also like just to jump ahead that one of the top priorities out there is getting security cameras. And I plan to talk to Martha about what's the town's plan. Can we phase security cameras in over a number of years? And the primary ones right now being Town Hall, Haynes Park, and I believe the police department. And how that's going to be run. The police department's going to be I would say, that should be the central place Yeah, you would think so. But I will talk to Martha about that in this coming month, about what to do, so we can maybe get that into the budget starting next year, and hopefully continue on. Because we almost had security cameras 3 years ago, but then the idea came up to do this centralized thing for the town with the cloud or whatever, and the resolution is supposed to be better. So I will speak to her about that, and maybe Don, you'd like to be with me when we talk to her.
Okay.
Because that's really, we're going to put a nice playground out there, a nice pavilion. We really want to make sure that it doesn't get vandalized, because it's...
So question on that, has there been any vandalism at Pinewood? Is that when the playground went in?
Broken windows, mostly.
So it's more building related?
That's right next to the playground.
But damage to the playground itself, I don't believe there's...
No, the playground itself...
Playground itself is okay. Maybe vandals like to
Winter
see
turf.
playgrounds for kids. I would hope. I can't imagine why.
Several years back, there was some relatively minor damage on the soccer fields with kids on mopeds. It was fixed, and that was an instance on field problems.
What about the boathouse? Anyone ever mess with that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, no, we've never been told that.
Just once, didn't they do something to the doors?
That was the bathroom.
That was the
I thought
bathroom.
they did something to the, pulled one off the track at the boathouse.
That was the bathroom.
That was the bathrooms.
That was done 3 days after it opened.
Yeah, I knew that, I just thought before that.
There's been 4 times the bathroom at Haynes Park has had a little bit of a vandalism problem so far.
Well, you know, we think about vandalism, but there's also other things that should reason have security cameras.
Oh, yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. So
I recall from when Martha came to the meeting last time or 2 times ago, she was mentioning that, you know, with these cameras, you really want to buy them all at once so that they're all the same model, they all connect together the same way
Right.
and everything. So if it's more of a town initiative and less of a park and rec driven.
Oh, this is definitely a town expense. This is definitely a town thing. This is not anything with the,
We're at the mercy of that timeline then, probably.
yeah, no, the town would have to buy into all this, okay? And the air
But this
goes.
squeaky wheel will get somewhere.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start. I mean, we'll start and see where we can get there. Okay.
Just a quick question. You mentioned that they locked in the price, or they confirmed it. What do we need to do, or how can I help in terms of the surfacing piece of it?
Well, that's the one thing that we'd have to come to with. If you're not gonna have a concrete surface, you're gonna need a solid, it can be permeable, but I think at one point we talked about having pavers pavers for the base. I don't know, you just can't have grass or sand. I mean, that's not handicap accessible.
Not sand.
Yeah.
Maybe
You could do that reinforced turf, that would work.
Will the pavilion installer people not be able to help with that? Or manage like what needs?
No, that was, we already contacted Magnic Brothers that were gonna be the ones to secure the pavilion on whatever the base was. So if we don't have a concrete base, we have to come up with what's the alternative, and I guess we could just do footings, concrete footings to hold the pavilion in place.
Right, that's what you do. If you don't have a concrete bay, you have concrete footings.
Right.
Attach it, so it's similar. It's just what the rest of the area is made up of.
So another one, I guess would be acceptable. I don't know how good it would be, is some sort of wood and have as a base.
Putting the wood up.
Yeah, I would want to put wood up there. It's
I put
treated.
a deck on my pool, the code was like those footings down, dug 30 inches deep or whatever
So that's
for hurricane.
that's what we're gonna have to talk about before we have this thing installed. What's the base gonna be?
Okay. And the location is, you have the plan?
Yeah, Don actually
Other
drew
side.
out the plan.
Yeah.
Drew the box in where the idea was to put the pavilion so that you could see the playground and also the beach area.
But what if we don't have this rendering in time? Is that gonna hold everything up? Because that was,
I think it will.
No, I don't think
we were
so.
so adamant about this
We
plan.
were,
Yeah.
but I think it's more for its posterity.
Yeah, well, that's it,
Plan.
just to have, and one of the things we
Another
can add
year.
to it is when we decide how the docks are gonna be, that would be put into this plan.
Yeah, and like where's
Yeah.
the definitive sand line and,
Yeah, but
yeah.
Phil is still working on that to get BSC or whatever they are they owe it to us, so they should get it to us. Okay, this one, public water fountain and foot rinse shower. I spoke to Phil about, did he work on anything with UV lights? Because the problem is having potable water from our wells out at Town Woods and also Haynes Park, and they did not look into a UV light system for this, but they did do an initial analysis of some sort of filtration system that was going to be about $4,500. Now, the filtration system was going to get removed things like iron from the water and certain minerals that aren't good for plumbing and all that. And that would have to be serviced every quarter. So if we do something like this, this would have to be, which we should do something, probably.
But does that treat the water to make it sanitary?
Yes, a UV
Does.
light, yeah, it kills any bacteria.
All the bacteria. Okay.
But that's probably going to be something that's much more than $4,500, so that apparently, I guess they were running out of money with the new bathroom, so this was never done, a filtration system that they wanted to put in. But that wouldn't really solve the problem of the bacteria. So we'd have to get an estimate on what a UV light system would cost, and this would have to be, of course, agreed by the town. This would be a town expense. Now, and the other thing is that if it's just for filling up water bottles, I don't see why we'd really need this at all. Everybody should have enough water for whatever their thing is that they go out on, and plus, you could always use the water in the bathrooms if it was safe, because we have it checked, every quarter?
It's tested.
It's tested.
It's tested all the time.
Yeah, so you could always just use...
The water fountain at Town Woods doesn't have a UV thing, does it?
No.
No,
But it should.
but it should, and a lot of times we've had to shut that down.
Test and be potable water, but I wouldn't drink it.
But like I said, for all the sports, Don, all the sports, all the participants bring their own water.
As a rule, yes.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be a tough one.
You were just referring to how we should have filtration, but you're saying just for the tap that is in the bathroom?
They tried to do, but they didn't do it, is put up a water filtration system to take out nasty minerals, especially iron. It discolors toilets and everything else. But I think they didn't have enough money to do that, so they didn't do it. So right now they just have the water coming in, and eventually, sometimes it's treated with chlorine. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and
Well, it's treated initially before we are allowed to open it.
yeah.
It's checked and treated, whatever has to be done.
Yeah, so we're doing a checking system. And the other thing I remember it came up about showers and foot rinses. Well, this is not sand that we're putting something like that over. It's dirt. I mean, it's just going to create mud. And I don't know if that's really a practical thing. And I was just wondering why, if you're worried about goose poops on feet or whatever, why not just take a towel and wipe it off? And then you'd have a disgusting towel, and then you have to wash it at home. I mean, so...
I don't know. Having taken my kids there quite a bit for fishing and swimming, and
It's gross.
I actually think this item is really of value to the community if we can make it happen, given the water challenges, the shortage of water. But I don't think that just because we all can agree that you can take a water bottle for your sport, that's a reason we shouldn't do it. There's a water fountain at Town Woods Park.
Yeah, but
that entryway to the...
It's closed down a lot, that.
Right, and all I'm saying is that I think, like, being a mom, I've tried to fill water if you forget to bring it and you don't have enough for your kids. You're in a place where it's warm and there's swimming and a picnic table and a playground. We should have potable water.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, we'd have to get a UV light system, which is going to cost mucho money, and before we could even think about doing something like that.
Yeah.
Because even like now, Don says people are hesitant to just use the faucet that's already in the sink to fill up a water bottle.
I would be, but...
I mean, I remember just drinking out of the hose all the time, but people don't do that anymore.
So are these two things connected, the water fountain and the foot rinse shower?
Yeah, the foot rinse shower...
No, I mean, they're only they're in the same place as being like...
Yeah, and the other thing I would be concerned about, not only the lack of a good well that supplies water, is that if a foot wash system was vandalized in any way, it would take a long time to refill the
There's
water.
one at White Sands.
Yes, but that's going into sand.
But
for
I'm saying vandalism.
Well, that's been vandalized many times. many times.
It gets repaired about 3 times a season.
Yeah, many times. It's gonna be vandalized.
Not to do stuff then. Vandals ruin it for everyone. I tried to bring my kids down to a hike at Watch Rock and can't go there. It's closed.
Yeah, on the weekends, yeah, because of
It's the weekend, the only time anyone can go hiking.
yeah.
Because of vandals.
Yeah, if you have to work, yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
it's been vandalized a lot at White Sands. But they also have a better way to drain the water to sand.
I just think that's 2 different concerns.
Yeah, I agree. I'll also note that, and you mentioned having this be a town thing. I do agree, because we should do it in multiple places. But the Haynes Park Committee was also supportive of using Haynes Park funding for item 8.
Which one is 8?
Okay.
Just discussing?
Oh, sorry, the public fountain and
Okay.
float rinse.
Okay, well, we have a new facilities guy. We'll get a number on what a UV system would cost. And then we can make a decision on whether or not we want to do that and where those funds would come from. I personally think that should be a fund of the town.
I agree. I just was noting that if we were refused,
Yeah.
that we have $41,000 remaining. I'm not saying it should all be used on that, I'm just noting it.
Yeah, you want to try and get as much bang on the buck as we can for all these projects.
Yes.
Okay, just moving along, because you have to leave soon. I'm a little concerned, what does fixed bike racks, we have a bike rack down there mean? They're gonna put anchors on it so it can't move? Is there a problem with being moved down there? We bought a bike rack, and I wonder, have you ever seen a bike in it?
Not too often.
Oh, so I don't know. We have a bike rack already down there. The kayak rack, this was an issue over a year ago, is that to come up with a system where people felt like they weren't being left out of getting rack space. And then the question was, would canoes want to be put down there? Would even shells want to be put down there?
No.
And so we came up with a decision over a year ago not to do that.
The Harbor Commission has something new online where you register to use they don't allow canoes, it's kayaks. And you have to register for a spot, which I think is really wise. Because some people are putting their stuff on and chaining it up and leaving it there for 2 years, so.
Yeah.
Where is that?
All the other kayak racks.
Pilgrim's Landing.
Yeah.
There's no canoes down there?
You're not supposed to.
And what type of property? That's some sort of public property?
Well, Pilgrim Landing,
It's town property.
it's all town properties. So it's actually with this new system, it's an online mooring system, but they can include racks, and you have to approve it, and you pay a small fee so that somebody also knows how to get a hold of you.
We can look into that, but
I mean, I'm okay with it now that it's not just everybody just sticks there.
There was already talk when we talked about this a year and a half ago. Well, how about putting canoes out there? How about the racing shells? Could somebody put the shells outside?
Pretty soon there'll be no park left. It's just.
No, and I'm wondering exactly. Everything's a little jammed up down there.
Kayak racks are pretty small compared to it.
Yeah, maybe you could put a kayak rack, I don't know, by the side of the building between that private I don't know. Maybe you could do that. We'll have to see. We'll have to look more into it.
Yeah.
Okay, long-term maintenance. I think we've talked about that if we could get more raking out on the beaches and a little bit more public works activity, and get powers to be in the town to agree to all this, of course we should be maintaining what we have.
Do you have, for Don, do you have any thoughts on, or do you have anything in your budget that you're outlining now for the January submission that is around the maintenance topic of any of the parks?
Well, we just have some general things, repairs and maintenance type things, if somebody busts a window or something.
Yeah, we have a repair budget.
Like
General fund.
Nothing with doing the beach and, raking the beach and all that stuff, no.
The town,
Public Works handles that.
and that's where you went to Ed, and he didn't have a specific allocation for parks. It's just like
Right.
Is it something where, to date, I think, I don't know, what's your view on whether we need to ask that the town put more money into the town's public works, whatever line item is, for these things? Because
Like scheduled maintenance.
like scheduled maintenance, routine maintenance.
He has, I don't know much about his budget, but I think he generalizes it. I don't think he has specific things for Haynes Park or White Sand Beach or whatever. I think it's like a umbrella, and then he uses out of that.
Yeah,
On a side note, we're talking about beach cleaning at
Yeah.
White Sand Beach, and my suggestion was for the town of Old Lyme to purchase a beach cleaning machine that Public Works can do every day,
yeah.
which is a portable one, which we could take to Haynes Park and
Rather than Harry Plout doing like White Sands, doesn't Harry Plout do that for White Sands Beach?
the contracts are up, and we're looking at other options right now.
Oh, okay, that would be a good idea.
And my suggestion was that the town of Old Lyme purchase some sort of beach cleaning machine that they can operate to clean our beach and to clean Haynes Park Beach.
Yeah, that's,
Great idea.
Makes sense.
yeah.
Probably a lot cheaper in the long run.
Maybe we
It
could.
will be. In my opinion, I haven't priced them out, but in my opinion, in 2 to 3 years, you've paid
Yeah.
for your machine.
Okay, so we're gonna talk to Martha about security cameras. We're gonna talk to her about this machine for cleaning beaches. And we're gonna talk to her about, general update on maintenance.
Yes. I was wondering if Donnie could record it on his phone,
Oh, you gotta go?
the meeting.
No, I can't.
You can't?
I won't. But, sorry.
Can we leave this on, just get it back to you?
We can, just
Yeah.
close it up, bring it back to me. Or I'll get it tomorrow, or,
Yeah, you could just pick it up down Don's office after the meeting.
I
Yeah.
can deliver it back to you tomorrow. You tell me where I could deliver it to.
Yeah.
I'm at home.
Okay, I know where that is.
You do?
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, I'm just gonna go this.
all right. Well, we're almost done here with this part. Okay, the security we talked about. Dredging the beach area, this is a huge cost project that would have to be agreed to and put in the budget, and town would be responsible for it. And just, all you do is close the top and it turns off, right?
It's still going, see, that's it. And to get into it, it's so... If you want to turn off the recording, 1403.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, so that's something we've talked about, and it was probably done, 20 years ago, Don? The last time it was dredged, Haynes Park?
Longer than that.
Yeah, so this is a monumental project that we may want to talk to Martha about dredging.
Martha's gonna quit.
Yeah. Well, this is something you could just put in, just like what we did down at Cross Lane with the tennis courts, basketball, and pickleball, which, by the way, I looked at, and it's beautiful down there. It's beautiful. And this is something like over 3 years, they put the money in, and finally it gets done. Parking lot, I think the Ed Dante's not into spraying lines there. We can't put concrete things in, and I don't think this is going to be practical.
I only laugh because I think we all came to the consensus that people find more spots by not being told where to park.
Absolutely.
Right,
So,
right.
I think that was where everyone kind of landed.
And I think what I mentioned to Greg Hack last meeting was that they talk about maybe changing some of their programming so everybody doesn't come at the same time. But I talked about limiting memberships, such as golf clubs do and all. There comes to a point where you just can't let everybody join. It's not a big enough facility to park all these cars. So I would hope that they would look into that and also carpool. But this is something that the rowing association should be doing. And so anyway, I think that would help to improve it. Okay, playground structure paid, what's the next thing? Pavilion, okay, I think we got.
Yeah, so that's just a cost summary.
Yeah, we
And then
got that.
we already kind of touched on the timing.
Yeah, yep.
And I think
And,
about that.
Yeah, and I think until we get answers at the next meeting, exactly what the plan's gonna be, there's no sense you guys meeting about this, till we decide what we're gonna do. Okay? Okay, can we move on?
Yeah, that's good. Is there anything I should prepare
No.
for us before the next meeting?
No,
in
just
terms
maybe
of voting?
contacting somebody,
Yeah,
an
I have
expert.
that.
Okay, yeah, okay, that would be great if
And
you could
maybe
do
sending
that.
the playground materials.
Uh,
That would be something we would vote on next meeting?
Yeah, well, we're gonna vote, we're gonna go with that middle ground playground, and then you got estimates on other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll just approve that at the next meeting.
Okay. And we'll just, in terms of putting things into anything that Don submits, we'll just discuss that further. And I'm guessing January 4th is before you would submit anything.
Sorry.
January 4th meeting.
Text message here.
Oh, it's okay. So the January 4th meeting would be before you have to submit anything budget related. Although you already.
He
talked
has
about the
money,
things that you're
he has money, right?
Not for the playground. I was just thinking about anything else that we had to pencil in, but we probably covered it.
I think everything's covered, but I haven't got my budget yet, so I haven't been told when it's due back.
Yeah, okay.
It's usually already happened, but they're doing things differently this year, so we
Yeah.
haven't even gotten them yet. I
Yeah,
haven't received it, and I haven't got a date
yeah.
that when it's due back.
Okay,
But you can always change it
okay.
or adjust it.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay, we're moving on then, community garden, well, we left that we got a picture of where that's gonna go, and I guess the zoning was gonna contact zoning, and so we'll find out how he made out on that. T-ball cross lane, I went over there the other day just to look at the courts and all, which were beautiful. Pickleball, but it was after rain, and at 10:30 in the morning, nobody was playing pickleball yet. But I looked at that area, and Don said that you and Ryan and Don, you went down there, and I don't see how that couldn't be semi-dangerous, especially with people not paying attention if the baseball game's going on, and everybody's concentrating on T-ball. Is that area big enough?
I don't know for sure, because that's why I met with Matt to ask him to
Stake it out.
take it out, exactly what you want to do.
I didn't see any stakes there a couple days ago when I was there.
I've neither.
So, he'll have to do something like that, and really, I just think it's maybe adding another risk factor, somebody getting bopped on the head.
I just think we need more information about what he wants to do. I mean, when
Yeah.
I got down there, the space is way bigger than I remembered it to be. I do want to, just make note that the courts all look amazing. That stuff all came out great. There were people playing pickleball when we were there, so that was nice. I'm not against the T-ball thing. I just would like to see more about what he's looking
And
at.
I wonder why the T-ball thing can't be done at one of the baseball fields at Haynes Park.
I mean, Matt.
I mean, not Haynes Park, Townwoods.
Just to give little kids the opportunity to be in the facility where they aspire to get onto the big, main field someday. I get it.
Okay, yeah, but we're gonna have
Look up to the big
to
kids.
come up with a more definitive
Yeah, that's what we
outline.
said.
Yeah.
I just want to see more about what he wants to do.
Yeah, all right, so hopefully.
There's plenty of space, I think, for some activity to happen over there and people to get spectators to get around. I mean, people will go where they can flow. Just because they have meandered across that area in the past, if it's segmented out. I mean, right now it's a waste of space. So something could
Yeah,
happen.
it used to be volleyball or something there, right?
Tennis court, 10 volleyball court.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say waste of space. I'm saying there's space available to do something productive.
Yeah, and then I saw it too, because I want to get a better idea, because I saw like a mound for practicing pitching out there, and would that be impacted or no? Probably
Yeah,
not.
well, that would be
I think he's going to move those two mounds.
To where? This is what we got to figure. We have to.
That's why I asked him to do this, and he has to stake it out.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, it's December. He's got...
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. So we'll look into that some more. New business. The bulkheads for the docks. We went over that in going over the subcommittee's suggestions. Any other new business? No? Nobody says new business? Okay. So we're gonna have the director's report. Oh, maybe before, I said after new business. So director's report, then we'll talk about the one correspondence we got. Okay?
All right, I'll be brief for this, and I will provide Mary Ellen with the written thing tomorrow. Since the last meeting, and it was close to the last meeting date, that our youth fall soccer program wrapped up. It was a very good season overall. Adult co-ed soccer wrapped up similar. Adult basketball is wrapping up in December 20th, this session, and we have new sessions starting in January, probably through March, and then we'll have a spring session as well.
I have a question about if people get drop-ins for this. I mean, who collects them? Is there somebody?
We collect the money.
But you?
Winnie or myself collects the money.
Oh, okay. To make sure that that's all being done. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Adult volleyball. The session is ending on 12/21. Very popular program. There's 40 people signed up for that. It's usually 2 games going on full. The winter sessions have been decided already. That will go January 4th to February 29th. There are 30 people registered for that already. Zumba toning sessions are over for the fall, and we're working on winter sessions. Winter youth basketball sign-ups are going on right now. To date, the K through 5 group, as of this morning, had 114 kids signed up. And the 2 sessions of pre-K kids had a total of 27 people signed up, so we're pretty much where we were last year on that. We will have our coaches meeting on December 16th, next Saturday. And then we'll make up the teams when we start, and the season runs January through February. Let's see, as far as facilities go, all the facilities now are closed up for the winter. As far as bathroom uses and stuff like that, you can obviously still go to the beach or Townwoods Park or Haynes Park or Cross Lane to do something, weather permitting. But everything, all the water is turned off, and the facilities are all winterized. With facilities, I did have a KERMA, our insurance folks, inspection with all my sites. Waiting for the report on that. They go through the buildings and they do like a mock OSHA inspection as to what's going on in your buildings to keep you out of trouble from an OSHA inspection of something going wrong. So it's a good service to have, and we've done that for our buildings, and they're doing it town-wide, and we're just waiting for the report on that. I also met last week at Townwoods Park with a couple folks from the state of Connecticut who do inspections on wells and all that stuff, and we were at Townwoods Park looking at the water system there, and I am waiting for reports about that as well. Obviously the courts down at Cross Lane are certainly usable, certainly very nice, and people have been using them, so that's going to continue until the weather doesn't hold out anymore. I was planning on taking the tennis court and pickleball court nets down like we normally do in the winter. The problem with that is like the school has already taken all their tennis nets down for a while, a couple weeks now. The problem with that is if the weather stays nice, then I get the phone calls about how come we still can't play. So it's a kind of a gamble as to when to take them down.
So it depends on snow and being too cold.
Yes.
So once that happens,
we're kind of working out that when to do that right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's on facilities. That's where we are with them. Again, reiterate what Bob said. We have a new facilities guy starting in January. He's been around now just to touch base and stuff like that. So we'll bring him up to date with everything as we go along. And just the last item, I just want to keep in the meeting. minutes is a facility use fee. I recommend that the Parks and Recreation Commission determine if facility usage fees should be instituted and required for outside groups using town facilities. Hopefully, these decisions can be made prior to the start of spring season. I think it's something that needs to be addressed.
What outside groups come and use the facilities now?
Well, anybody could. I mean, anybody could. Like AAU softball.
Yeah.
They have, say, 12 kids on a summer roster, and 3 or 4 of them from O-line.
Yeah. So they
that
should be.
Type of stuff.
Yeah,
Somebody should be paying to use our facilities because.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Take care of it.
I think everybody probably agrees with that.
Right.
So that example, they're using it to, like, today?
What's that?
In that example, AAU softball,
Yeah.
they are using it today, potentially?
They aren't, but they could be. They could be. Yeah, they use
have to
it.
do that form, and then there's no...
Yeah, they
there's no
fill out
fee
the form.
associated with the
There's no fee.
So how do you... I'm kind of in support of this. I just wonder how it would get... how the field usage would then be scheduled and managed.
Well, it's going to take some planning, but I just think that you have to have some kind of income, especially for teams that like as an example, if the soccer club is playing a fall soccer schedule and approximately half the stuff is at other towns, we wouldn't charge our own people to do anything. If a group comes in and says, hey, I'd like to use Townwoods Park softball field to practice, and I go, okay, and I check with Little League first, and they're not using it, so you could have these dates. And right now, there's no fee involved with that. And that type of stuff, I think, it's going to get more. People are going to say, hey, come to O-line, you can go there for free.
So why don't we? I think
I think the commission has to determine if its usage facilities usage fee is required, which I think it is. Then it has to be approved by the commission, but ultimately by the Board of Selectmen because they have the form.
Yeah, I think I agree with you that outside people should have to pay something to use that. But I also know that at least with Townwoods Park, we have to allow because of the way the steep grant was.
Based on availability.
Based on availability, like soccer's got number one preference in the fall.
Well, that's my question is, if I'm an outside group and I've paid a fee to use the field, soccer club, lacrosse, other town groups would need to give way, right? I mean, if I've paid to use the field.
Well, I think the way it is right now, like the Lima Lime Soccer Club and the Connecticut River Lacrosse Club and Little League have first shot at all our fields. Just like when my Parks and Rec programs, I want to use the gyms in the school system, first priority is their usage, and we fill in the blanks, so to speak.
Is there a fee associated with that?
Is there what?
A fee associated with
us using those facilities? Yeah. There used to be. I negotiated that away a couple of years ago and said, why are you charging my basketball? We use youth basketball as an example. We're just Lime and O-line people running through a Parks and Rec program out of O-line that's using our facilities that we pay for. Why are we having to be charged a significant amount of money on weekends? And it finally went away. So as long as there's a custodian on staff, scheduled staff, there's no fee.
I got you, okay. Yeah, that's what I was curious about.
Right. And several years ago, they instituted that they have a custodian on duty on weekends, Saturday and Sundays, for the whole school year, which helped make the fee kind of go away.
I could see being part of this conversation, like maybe enhancing or augmenting the field usage information, like all that stuff, right? Like, because if you're going to charge a fee or like those people would have to adhere to the gate gets closed at sunset kind of rules and stuff like that. So, and I think it would probably, I mean, it may be worth looking into, and someone would have to manage this. So forgive me for even suggesting it, but like an online calendaring thing or something, like, because I think that's where, to me, I see it all as a little bit connected, right? Like
A little bit what?
a little bit connected.
Yeah.
Like who can use the fields when, who has priority, and all that kind of thing. You know, we had the whole conversation about the new baseball team and Cross Lane and all that. So like, what if they paid a fee? Then what? And who's going to deal with the scheduling?
Well, the way it works right now, they would fill out a facilities uses form, which the town has, and they changed to there would be some kind of fee associated with it. That goes through me.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lacrosse club or a soccer club, I don't do their schedule. I don't do their scheduling. Like in the fall, soccer club has first shot. Lacrosse works with the soccer club to fill in the blanks when there's available space. A third party comes along, I go, well, wait a minute, and I got to check with that type of stuff. It gets difficult. The spring. It kind of works in reverse because the lacrosse guys are there and the soccer club's filling in. And
with the caveat, though, that lacrosse isn't all line. So
right.
That's where it gets.
Right, and that was a problem for years around here because they weren't reciprocating in other towns. And that has gotten better, even though I still don't think it's where it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take a lot of thinking, thoughtful stuff to make
I think it
work.
could be implemented. I wonder if other towns are doing this and how they're doing it. And how they
I believe other towns are. You pay a fee.
I think that if we do come up with fees for certain types of sports and activities, I think we should only come up with that if that becomes a problem. I mean, we should have in place a program if somebody wants to use the softball field 3 times a week, say. We'll have something in place to charge, but we have to come up with a rate system of some sort, right?
So you're saying don't charge until it's a problem.
Until somebody fills out a facilities usage and wants to do something on a regular basis. For most times, for one-shot deals, it's not a big deal, right?
Well, no, it's seasonal. And
yeah.
I think once we start, I mean, like this AAU softball stuff, I mean, the guys, there are good people involved, and there's local kids involved, so it's all good stuff, but we have facilities, and they're seeing this, and they're finding out, and they want to come use them.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. We have beautiful facilities and teams that
can't be matched, I don't think, in most communities
it's
around.
It's expensive to maintain it, so.
Yeah, right.
I personally don't think whatever fees we charge is going to really offset a lot of our costs, but it's a selling point, I think.
Okay. So I think
the basketball club, I could be wrong, I think the basketball club gets charged to use the gyms on the weekends.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So that's anything else on that? No? We're done?
No, I just think it's got to be, I mentioned it like 3 meetings in a row now.
I think the consensus is we should be doing that if people are starting to request from outside of town to use some of these facilities. And then we have to come up with the rate system, which is not going to really cover a whole lot of maintenance, but it's something.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think also, I think the commission should look at the entire package. Is what we're doing now the right way to do it? Even, is it?
Well, so far it's worked out pretty well, except for lacrosse and the Valley people.
Right.
It's worked out pretty good.
Everybody's got good intentions. I get that, and I try to keep everybody peaceful and getting along, and everything's working. I just think it's time to evaluate the entire process on who goes and is able to do what, when, and is there going to be a cost associated with it? That's all.
So for the next meeting, we can bring this up to have a vote on it or something?
Those are the third meeting I brought it up, so.
So we'll put it on the agenda.
On the agenda?
Yeah, we'll put it on the agenda to be,
For the record, I'm in favor of this. I'm in favor of a little bit more formalizing all these processes, like you're saying.
Yeah.
well, we'd have to add some addendums to the rules for Town Woods Park and for Ames Park. We have a bunch of rules that are on the website. But we'll probably have to add.
Right. As an example, the soccer club, it's only been a soccer club that it has applied to so far. Out of season in the spring, for the town rules, we line the fields for them in the fall, and they just come and play. We take care of the fields, and part of that is lining the fields. In the spring, if they want to play soccer, which they have been for a number of years now, they pay for lining the field.
They pay for the lining of the field.
My opinion, just my opinion, I don't get the vote on this, my opinion is, I don't think it's fair to charge line people to line the fields out of season. They're paying for it anyways through their taxes. Just like I didn't think it was fair for Parks and Rec to have to pay to use the school facilities, which our residents, the same people, are paying for it.
Well, it's interesting what you said about basketball club, because those are all old-line kids.
I know, but I think it involves bringing other people. My point was, this is just Lyman O-line kids playing Lyman O-line kids on Lyman O-line
Oh,
facilities.
yeah, I got you. That's different.
So the town should pay for lining the field in that example?
In my opinion, yes.
Make sure I follow.
Because they, just like in the fall, they have a schedule where they play games over here and they play games
Yeah.
at our place.
Yeah.
Same in the spring. It's not like they're just
Nothing
using
different.
Yeah.
just Town Woods in the springtime.
Yeah.
Same scenario.
Yeah.
And I just,
Well, can we find out if they have to pay with other towns, when what they pay to use other towns' fields in this example you're giving?
well, I can contact other rec departments and.
Yeah. Do they have a fee? Because I don't know what the fee structure would be. Do you?
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking for.
Yeah, I
I want
don't.
to volunteer to offer to help Don and whatever. I don't know how to do this, but I'm happy to help.
Well, I'm sure he's happy to have you aboard.
No problem.
I'm in your camp.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm always a phone call away, but sometimes I'm very far away.
I don't think it's fair for residents of the town who pay for the facility anyways to be charged additionally. Like as it, us using the school.
So the usage
Or soccer
concept would only be for people who are not of the town?
Or it depends on their.
Out of season.
Right, and if you say like the AAU, if it's 50% over here and 50% here and 50% of the team is Old Lyme, then
Yeah, but
free.
most of the time, the AAU type of stuff, it isn't 50 or more. There isn't mostly Lyme or Lyme residents.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll put that down to put on the agenda next month. Okay. All right.
I mean, it doesn't have to be solved right away in January, but I think it should be discussed respectfully here, and maybe you decide that, no, it doesn't need to be. I don't know. I just think it needs to be addressed because.
Okay. I just put it down. I'll put it on the agenda for next time. Okay. Under correspondence, we did receive on November 15th from Chris McCauley from the president of the Old Lyme Rowing Association, this correspondence about the goose poop. Everyone received it, and so I'm going to ask Mary Ellen if she could just attach this to the minutes. Okay, public comment. We have nobody here for public comment. Anybody in telephone land? No.
Hi, Bob. It's Chris McCauley. I did
Oh, yes.
join the meeting, and thanks very much, but no comment.
Oh, okay. All right, Chris. Okay, good. No, we talked about how we had a nice meeting the other day to look at that, and you're going to get back to Don and I in the next week or two about specifications of what may be needed, right, for the docks?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds great, Chris. Okay. All right. Hearing no other public comment, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Okay. No discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Abstained? No. We're done. And it's, what is it?
7-11.
It's 7:11? 7:11. Okay, goodbye.